Good morning and Namaste, my friend. Welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius Joy, here to stand in my heart and gallop in the light. Got some good news. It's Friday. It's finally Friday. Friday, March 6, 2015. And this Namaste Today will cover you through the weekend. It's a special weekend forecast. We have a lot of good news on the horizon. First, let's start with the step of the day. It's step 15 Pisces. That is truly when peace and serenity overcome us. And the good news is because the universe is kind of forcing our hand each day, the step number is the flavor of energy that's kind of being rained down on Earth. It's kind of hard to resist peace and serenity, and you might, be a little anxious or flip out at first, but eventually you'll just chill out if you're in the beautiful garden of God, right? Of the soul garden of life, of planet Earth, of being inside you. You are born of peace, and today we return to peace. In fact, it's going to be quite a peaceful weekend. Step 15 is when we reach the halfway mark of a given transit, so we are halfway complete through the Pisces transit, and I'm happy to say we're past the worst of it. We really are. Those first degrees were difficult. We have been releasing a lot of old pain, releasing old relationships, releasing ancient habits, releasing subconscious self-sabotage. All these things that plague us, and perhaps we thought would always plague us, or we worried they would always plague us, truly are beginning to leave our story. And that, my friend, is evidence alone of the Mayan shift, the new age, and how we are truly ascending higher. Thank Goddess. But before we talk about what we'll be transiting in this weekend, let's first prepare our brain, shall we? With the phrase of the day. I am mindful of my heart and all that I love now. And that's very important. I am mindful of my heart. That's what I want to be thinking about today. And all that I love now. Now, the now has to do with the fact that in the moment, right now, all that I love right now. What do you love right now? You love your keychain? Do you love your coffee? Be mindful of what you love right now. Bring it all the way down to your feet and be mindful of what your heart loves in the now. And of course, if you can find an object, a person, something that you really love right now, do so. It helps you stay in your heart. Call them your personal keystone that keeps you back in your heart. But it's time to be mindful of your heart, not just now, but your whole life, of course, but now through the rest of our Pisces transit, because our heart is our guiding light at this point. Our heart is what returns us home, especially when we drift off into the ethos of Pisces. So today I am mindful of my heart and all that I love right now. And so it is. I thought so. The serious step of the day today is step 15. Now the reason why it feels so sweet is because it comes down to a Libra vibration. Libra as in Venus, as in giving and receiving, as in restoring, as in beauty, like this garden in front of us. And on top of that, the moon is moving into Libra as well. So the universe is truly helping us chill out as we prepare for a very spiritual week's end. Now, the architecture of our incarnation is as follows. We basically are at a step 10 and always build from then until we get to step 20. So we kind of use these 10s and 20s as a foundation of consciousness. And that's because they're themed by what we're primarily doing. Everything after 10 we're putting love into. So we're now at step 5, which means we're putting love into our thoughts, we're putting love into our minds. But the way you put love into your mind is, quite frankly, just to think about your heart. That's my little trick of the trade. So if you're mindful of your heart, if you're mindful of what you love in the moment, then you are already sending love to your mind. That's how it works. And what this does is it opens us up into a perfect posture to give and receive. We can give and receive much easier when we are mindful of our heart, because we know when it's right and we know when it's wrong. And instead of observing the right and wrongs of giving and receiving by watching someone else, we're actually observing it by watching our own heart flutter and determining that way. That is the master path. So let's take a look now at our lights and our chakras and the colors involved. For starters, we're way high up in violet. We're opening our crown chakra, and that is a violet I sense 7 Pisces consciousness. Today we add our thoughts, so our thoughts are mindful of our heart, and so we're operating in the yellow and purple, which is what we were operating in yesterday. And what happens is the blue, halfway in between, opens up. So really, I would say, as far as giving and receiving is concerned, the the yellow light is blue where we give and receive, and the crown is the top, and the yellow is when we how we ground. We ground with our emotions, and we're operating in those 3 dimensions today. And if you do need meditation, or if you do need color support with what you wear in your wardrobe, you can wear the color that you feel you need support with. It really brings you into that vibration naturally. So let's look at the timing of things this weekend in the cosmic clock. And here we are on the cosmic clock, and by looking at the planets and the cycles and circles of the universe, we can see what time it is here for human beings. And today, it's 15 degrees Pisces, or step 15 Pisces, about halfway through our subconscious. There are 12 states of awareness, and Pisces is the 7th state, the state where we connect to God and everything that is not us, which is the rest of everything. So we are connecting now, I think, in a very healing way. I'll talk about this in a couple of slides, but the sun will be crossing Chiron in a magic moment this weekend, and so it really is going to be, in my opinion, extremely tranquil. If you have any turbulence whatsoever that happens between now and Sunday, I would say these were things that you had absolutely hidden from yourself, and the peace allowed it to bubble up. So some things will bubble up if we still had them tucked away. But by 15, we are indeed past the hard turbulence and beginning our flight now to God consciousness, right? So our minds today are at step 11, Aquarius. Aquarius is the I belong consciousness. The I belong consciousness is the 4th state of awareness, and that is the state where we figure out where we belong in the 3D map. So when it comes to the 3D map, our minds feel that we are now healed in our placement on Earth, and we can begin to explore our playpen. And that's what we'll be doing this weekend intellectually, is exploring where we may belong next, or precisely where we feel we should belong. Now the tension, if any, is this: the moon in Libra, which seeks emotional balance. Today, as the moon moves through the early steps of Libra, this is where we shake off, like a dog with water, all the stuff that's bugging us emotionally. Some people flip out unnecessarily at this vibration, but you really want to just, check in with yourself and restore balance and order on your own if you can. The tug of war, of course, is to the other side. Through the weekend, the moon will cross Black Moon Lilith there. Black Moon Lilith is the phantom shadows of old fears, so spooking ourselves in the mirror, so to speak, but nothing real, all right? And maybe fears of our worst nightmare becoming real. But I really think we've dumped most of the heavy stuff now, and we're floating and we're fine-tuning, and we're trying to make this ocean voyage perfectly smooth like a Libra. But like I said, there is turbulence, and the turbulence is Mars, of course. On the other side, with technically the ruler of Libra, which is Venus, so technically Libra has an ambassador sent already over to the turbulent side, if you want to think about it that way. A part of us is checking on a part of us, and that's how this is. This is conscious wiring. So a part of us is checking on a part of us, and what that is this whole who we are when we're strong versus when we surrender. So emotionally, we'll be actually in a place to surrender, a place to receive, a place to, roll over and beg, a place to forgive ourselves. I mean, that's the moon in Libra. But under the seams, there's an old ego that we're trying to shake off, and there's a new ego trying to be born. And that is, either a graceful or not graceful situation for the individual. So this is part of what it is. Now, Mars today is at step 11, just like the mind. So Mercury and Mars are wired together, both in harmony. So the smartass and the dumbass are marching in step. You'll see how good the kingdom or queendom actually goes in your life when the smartass and dumbass march in step. Now, looking a little bit more closely at Mars and Venus here, Mars is really going to put pressure on Uranus, which means to move forward and innovate our ego side of us. In the simplest terms, that is the actions we take or don't take. So the actions you take or don't take lead to your ego, all right? And whenever you take or don't take an action, you are sculpting your ego. So we're going to innovate those actions. Maybe take less action for more, maybe refine our actions. And Venus at the top is creating new possibility, planting seeds. She's planting seeds for Mars to come and basically fertilize, or to make sow. And then these little ghosted images of the planet show how they'll move through the weekend. Venus ends manifesting at the end of the weekend, and Mars is ready to jump at the end of the weekend. So it's a pretty powerful moment. Uranus at step 14, that whole project to reframe basically how we think about our male character or our male side. So we are innovating by thinking differently, that the male side in us belongs with a different party or a different group, not this particular one. So the gracefulness is trying to dismiss the old ego gracefully and put our attention into the new ego. That's really, I think, the challenge. So the sun is at step 15, which is peace, in my opinion. Anyone born in step 15 is a natural-born peacemaker, I always say. And the moon is in the sign of peace, Libra, as well. So we are getting definitely a dose of peace today. And in the afternoon, we move to step 16. So it is this late afternoon here on Earth that we move to step 16, and this is where we really connect to God in the highest form. That's step 16. So this is like another Neptune charge. So after we step into peace, it's like we now go in and we get kind of cleaned off spiritually. So our sleep this weekend is incredibly spiritually restorative. Restorative. I don't know what the term is here. They say restorative sleep, right? That's the term I've heard like in Easy Sleep commercials and stuff. Do you have restorative sleep? So yes, restorative sleep, I think it's going to really heal you even if you don't sleep very much. And I think that this is the final salute to some old haunts in us, okay? Now, the ironic thing about healing is you don't usually notice when it happens because you just feel good and you start moving on. And so you really have to listen to know. Then on Sunday, step 17 rules the day. So this is where we now come into a place to, after hearing what we have experienced with God, after what our peaceful side tells us, we're ready to commit. And that might be to greater peace, to go continue even higher. That might be to go back to one of these early steps and heal something that we realize still needs some more attention. This is our healing part. We're halfway through, but this is the most delicate and sensitive and rewarding part if you invest your heart and soul into listening to where your peace is and listening to where your states of awareness are. And that leads me now to today's special Sensei Sunrise. I'm going to help you with uniting your states of awareness. Today in this beautiful garden in Gaia, I'm going to dive into some higher spiritual theories. In fact, I'm going to throw out there to the world my theory on how we could achieve world peace. This is just my humble opinion on how we could achieve world peace. I've been studying world peace since I was actually pretty young. I don't like violence. I don't like seeing people suffer. My heart doesn't like it at all. So I've always tried to use my intelligence and awareness to achieve world peace. And if you're wondering why do I do this and get up in the middle of the night to shoot these videos, because I want to see everyone get along, and I'm very curious how that will feel on that day. To me, it'll feel like Disneyland. And to me, we will love being here. And that is the intention. So I'm throwing out my theory, and it does have a title. It's called the United States of Awareness. I believe this is what will bring us to world peace. Each human individual needs to reach an inner united states of awareness. I think we need to look at this more practically. It is mystical, it is spiritual, it is God, but there's a practicality here that I can bring, and that's what step astrology brings as well, the precise step of where each of your states of awareness are, or at least were at the time of your birth, and to know how to go up and how to go down, To me, it brings a high-definition human development consciousness that allows us to grow at a rapid rate. So the United States awareness really begins with us, inside of us. And I believe that it's time for us to become aware of who we are and our awesome individuality. And then when we look at each other as brothers and sisters, we'll see each other's individuality. And because we'll see each other, we will probably be more patient and have more understanding with each other. But it begins with us. So all souls are created equal, but are infinitely unique. That's the problem. And everyone has infinite right to do infinitely and express their uniqueness. That's also the problem. So it's been hard to govern human beings, and we've looked down on human beings instead of looked to give them the tools to deal with that uniqueness, and we haven't accepted their uniqueness. So to me, we have to first say, hey, all souls are equal, but they're all infinitely unique. And it's up to each soul, I think, to self-govern and unite their inner unique states of awareness into a particular harmony so that we can come together as a world. Now, to me, the all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid represents you. That this is a nation, the United States of America, where there's a possibility for you to be the all-seeing eye. When you see inside yourself who you are, you will be all-seeing in the world as well. That's the way it works. It's because the world is a reflection of you. And we've known this since the ages of time. This symbol goes back and back and back. The eye in the sky is ancient to all cultures. It represents our own third eye opening. It represents our own realization that we are the glory of God. Each of us, right? I believe this was the message of Christ and Buddha and every other great leader, Muhammad, every great leader that has been on earth, Lincoln, Mother Teresa, okay? We can go on. Now, enlightenment is full awareness, or uniting our 12 states of awareness. That's what enlightenment is, in my opinion. And one of our issues is that science suggests the mind is the only reality, when sacred wisdom says there are 12 states of being that make reality, 12 races of man, right? And we know this 12. It's actually six dualities united. And an inexperienced soul on earth, one that hasn't been incarnating too much or hasn't been caring too much, going one and the same, uniting mind, body, and spirit into one shape or outcome is difficult. So many of us are big poofs of color, and we're poofing all over each other because we are not aware of all of our colors. But God did give us spiritual tools and guidelines to understand all of our colors and how they reach humankind. And we can reach an inner united states of awareness, and we can manifest that color into beautiful expressions of reality and love and light when we are conscious of our states, where one state ends and one state begins. You can create any sort of beautiful manifestation. And so the 11 Steps to Serious Joy, which I honestly have given away to Earth, right? I'm writing my first book this year, and I'm going to teach a class. We'll talk about that in a second, but I'm giving this away. I'm teaching it every day. These are proven tools that will unite your light precisely, and they have for my clients. I've seen clients in crazy rainbow into awesome laser light show. Now, one of the tools I've developed is what I call the Active Intuitive Matrix, or the AIM. This is a step astrology map of your soul's frequencies. You could call it your soul signature. It's in the 11 Steps of Serious Joy, and it's one of the things we'll be developing in my Serious Joy camp. You'll walk away with one of these of yourself. This is me, actually. You can see at the top there that my Venus, my giving and receiving, is the highest point of my vibration, which I'm extremely proud of. But it explains why I feel so damn vulnerable. It's way high above the rest of me. And then way at the frickin' bottom is my malehood, which is good, I guess, that I don't have an ego that's too out there. But at the same time, it's hard to get myself to push, and sometimes that ego literally drags me down. So what I brought to the table is that step astrology defines your enlightenment. It tells you exactly where you are with every part of your state of awareness and to what degree. It allows you to see what steps, what parts of you are on the same line, what parts of you are way on opposite sides, and it gives you a visualization, understanding of your soul like you've never had before, certainly not in classic astrology. So For those who want to take this Sirius Joy Camp, I really recommend it. It will unite your light in just 4 classes, and you will understand yourself like you never had before. And I'm very proud to teach it in just 4 classes. So take a look at soulmart.me if you're interested. So for those who are already subscribed to Sirius Joy and are serious about their joy, today at 11:11 a.m. I thought it'd be fun after that little presentation to tell you what level your Venus is. So what level is the girl part of you? What level are you giving and receiving? And then of course at 3:03 p.m., what side is your pushy side? Your male side? Where is that kind of coming out and unfolding? And by the way, for those who subscribe to SiriousJoy.me for April, will receive a discount to Sirius Joy Camp as well. So if you're interested in being a subscriber in the April, come on down to SiriousJoy.me. So now it's time for some fun telepathy. We're going to do a little quiz here. I'm thinking of a fruit right now, which means I'm thinking of taste buds and stuff, yummy fruit. And which of the fruit am I imagining right now? Is it, number 1, an apple? Number 2, am I eating a green grape? Or number 3, am I eating a strawberry? Okay. I sent out there, a lot of you have been commenting that you're getting this, which is uber cool. I'll have your answer for you right after this. See you in a second. Introducing Secrets of Birthdays. Bow chicka bow wow. Are you ready to find love? Bow chicka bow wow. Your secrets are coming out. Bow chicka bow wow. All those sexy secrets are available at secretsofbirthdays.com. Bow chicka bow wow, baby. Soul Garden. And welcome back to Namaste Today. And for the answer to today's telepathy, which of the fruit was I thinking of? Was it A, an apple, 2, a green grape, or 3, a strawberry? The answer is a strawberry. I actually found these amazing strawberries, and I was eating them and thinking, oh my god, this could be the quiz. I actually had a psychic once who could tell you what you were eating because she could smell it psychically. She could smell the strawberry. She could tell you you're eating a strawberry or you're wearing cheap cologne. But it was pretty crazy. So let's move on to our rock and roll gospel. Today we're going to go way back in time with a really cool Polak friend of mine, Frédéric Chopin, who was a step 9 Pisces, which explains a lot if you know anything about this pianist and the piano concertos that this man has written. They are all incredibly beautiful, incredibly complex, obviously God created. But the step 9, man, you got to be very aggressive to keep up with those keys. In fact, today I have chosen Fantasy Impromptu Opus 66. You actually, if you hear this, it'll probably be familiar to you and certainly help you with your peaceful serenity. I want to put out a piece that was serene and peaceful to help you bring yourself there. And this man has a way of bringing you through all sorts of amazing emotion. But before you do that, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today and through the weekend. And I'll be giving you some soul assistance, as always, my friend. Remember that tug-of-war I was talking about between the moon in Libra and all that rebirthing energy in Aries? I'm going to tell you what your emotional tug-of-war is for each of the 12 signs, starting with the Scorpios. Cloudy and pissy, most likely through the weekend. You are really getting to the gist of some of it. It's because it is inner faith versus actual reality, and the universe is calling for you to rebirth your reality to create that faith, okay? Step 1, the Leos, sunny and pensive through the weekend. Your tug-of-war is between your mind games and your thoughts and your personal beliefs, the way it should be. What's changing? The way it should be. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny nesting and resting at home with the family this weekend. Your emotional tug-of-war is between your feelings, probably about your home and family maybe, and your career future. What needs to change? The career future. Step 3, Sagittarius is sunny and social this weekend, out and about, but you might have an emotional tug-of-war between your social life or friendships and your heart's desire. Actually, what needs to change? Upgrade your heart's desire. Don't know if you're honoring it. Step 4, the Aquarian, sunny and learning through the weekend, but your emotional tug-of-war is between what you believe and personal attitude. Guess what's changing? The attitude. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny and playful today. But over the weekend, emotional tug-of-war between your heart's truth and social calling. Guess what needs to change? The social calling. Step 6 to Libra, and sunny and cool with the moon in their sign this weekend. Probably out and about as well. But an emotional tug-of-war between personal willpower and their relationships. Guess what needs to change? The relationship. Step 7, that high bell means happy birthday to the Pisces. Sunny with a chance of Randy. They'll be out swimming in your pond this weekend. But they're having an emotional tug-of-war between personal limits and their value system. Guess what needs to change? Actually, your value system. Step 8, the Capricorn, sunny and professional, but emotionally tug-of-war in between career, future, and emotional security. Guess what one needs to change? Emotional security. Step 9, the Aries, sunny and sentimental, but emotionally tug-of-war between long-term relationships and their personal willpower. Guess which one is changing? Your willpower. Step 10, the Tauruses, cloudy and hyper-aware of their reality this weekend and or body or health, but you're having an emotional tug-of-war between daily grind and emotional faith. And yes, moo, 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 moo. It is our faith that needs to innovate. And then finally, the Step 11s, the Virgos, sunny and productive this weekend, but maybe emotionally torn between money and values and personal limits. Guess what changes there? The personal limits. All right. So moving on to our Lightwalker Parade. First of all, if you're on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. Helps us with our relationship with them. And on Facebook, you can reach us at soulgarden.me. And if you join our email list, you'll get a little email from me in the middle of the night. Now, the Sirius Joy Camp, which I mentioned, can be you can learn more about it on. It begins March 28th, and you can learn more about it at soulmart.me. It's a long little show here today, and I thank you for your patience. There's a lot I want to teach. And in the playlist, check out Chrissy Stereo's Maggie Soundscopes. They're very cool, and they're awesome to listen to. And, of course, we covered Texas gay marriage ban and also a lot of the spiritual politics going on right now in the nation from a mother's point of view. So check out Modern Mommies this weekend if you can. And do remember, I am grateful for you, and grateful for you sharing us with your friends. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you back on Monday with more. Stay in your heart, my friend, and live, love, be. This is just so ironic.